Welcome back, guys. We're going to talk to you now about our paint protection film product, Halo. I'm here with Ben, who's head of our product testing. Ben, Halo, it's a pretty new product on the market. Can you give us a little bit of a rundown on what it is and how we use it?
Absolutely. I mean, it was developed as a response in the marketplace for the increasing use of PPF and vinyl. It's a completely different product to what our Gtechniq users would have experienced before. It's completely new technology. As I say, it was formulated to overcome quite a few different obstacles that customers with PPF and vinyl wrap vehicles would encounter. Film substrates are usually more porous, which means they create more issues with contaminants becoming trapped in the pores of the film. As I say, paint and film is very different, very similar, to say skin and stuff. So sometimes you have a build-up of contamination deep in those pores, and that's really something we worked on to emphasise with the development of Halo. So it has a number of performance benefits, such as I say, dirt repellency, definitely an increase in water behaviour. I know a lot of people, detail enthusiasts around the world, absolutely love to see those classic beading shots. So Halo really delivers there, similar to our EXO and C2 products. And Halo offers, in addition, a lot of UV resistance as well. So a lot of traditional films, vinyls, especially earlier on, clear bras that will be on the market, they suffer a lot from yellowing in direct sunlight. So Halo has a mix of UV inhibitors in the formulation to prevent film of any type, say modern and classic clear bras, PPF and vinyl substrates. As again, it's completely different technology to all of our paint coatings, but it really sits in nicely with, again, the demand for film substances, and works really well amongst all of our other products as well.
So PPF, I mean, obviously that's paint protection film.
Yes.
That's the clear stuff, the clear film that people put on the front of their cars.
Correct, yes.
But it also works with vinyl. Is there any limitations to the product? Are there any products that doesn't? So obviously there's PPF, there's vinyls, there's the sprayable paint protection film.
Yes, there is, an introduction of that. No, I performed extensive testing with the Halo product. We went through 37 different prototypes during its development over the course of 2 years. We were very lucky to work with a handful of film manufacturers, and they sent in exclusively a handful of their film variants, so we can ensure that Halo is completely 100% compatible with all film types, say PPF, vinyl, and again the more modern sprayable film types as well. So going back as well, Halo won't work on other substrates such as glass, wheels, trim, plastic trim. Stuff like that is developed specifically for film and vinyl substrates, and that's why we have the rest of the Gtechniq total surface protection range for you to choose the correct product for the chosen material.
So it's definitely not for paint.
Correct.
Cool.
Yes.
Okay. So in terms of obviously it offering that protection element, you obviously mentioned that it has that hydrophobic property
absolutely.
to it, which is going to make it a breeze, certainly for this time of year.
Absolutely.
So a lot of it is about the protection element as much as it is the preservation of the film.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
So a lot of questions we get asked is, how do I prepare my car for haloing, if you like?
Yes.
What do people need to do in order to make sure that they get the best chemical bond to their PPF or their vinyl?
Okay, so there's two things to consider. Mainly the age of the film. So if you have, say, a brand new wrap installation, whether it is vinyl or it is PPF, so that film substrate is clean, straight from the manufacturer. But during the installation process, you'll get the occasional, say, the dust landing on the vehicle. You have fingerprints from the handling process. So we recommend 30 to 50% IPA wipe down of all the surfaces of the vehicle to sterilise that substrate, so you can maximise the chemical bond between the coating and the film to ensure maximum performance and durability. Now, for customers that have had PPF and vinyl on the car for, let's say, beyond a year, we would perform what's called a decontamination wash. Now, that would utilise products such as our W4 citrus foam, W5 citrus all-purpose cleaner, and our W6 iron and general fallout remover, and that will, as part of the decontamination process, really cleanse the pores that we discussed earlier of the film to get all of that dirt out, that will prevent complete adhesion of the coating to the film. So when the vehicle is completely washed, as say you perform that decontamination wash, you'd go around with our G-Wash to perform the final contact wash, bring the vehicle in, dry it with an MF4 sandwich type drying towel, ensure the vehicle is cool and dry to the touch. You must ensure the vehicle is completely dry so there's no residual water hanging around, particularly the mirror areas or special elements such as this vehicle behind us. There's a lot of aero elements as well, so ensure the car is completely cool to the touch and bone dry, and then, as I mentioned, go around with a 30 to 50% IPA wipe just to sterilise the surface and make sure there's no residual contamination on the film, ready for application.
And that IPA, for those that don't know, that's isopropyl alcohol.
Correct.
Isn't it? And that's pretty readily available
Yeah,
nowadays.
absolutely, yeah.
Now, there's a big don't here, isn't there? Because we've got panel wipe in our range.
Yes.
Now, panel wipe, again, that's been designed for paint.
Again, similar to all of our products in the range, as I've touched upon with the coatings in our existing line, panel wipe is for paint substrates only. It's designed and formulated to be as aggressive as possible to strip all of the silicons and lubricating polishing oils in modern polishes and compounds. It's designed to strip all those away to, again, provide that a sterile surface for a complete chemical bond. But in this circumstance, with existing and modern PPF films, panel wipe will still be a little bit too strong. So what is completely fit for purpose for paint substrates will be way too strong for film substrates, and vice versa. Something that's safe to use on vinyl substrates won't be powerful enough to strip off those waxes and silicons, all that kind of thing, from a painted surface.
So a big don't use panel wipe.
Correct.
Use the isopropyl alcohol mix.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Okay, so now we're ready to apply the halo, Ben. What's the best way to do it?
Okay, so as we mentioned, the decontamination process, perform everything we mentioned previously. Make sure the car is clean, dry, cool to the touch, and then assess the car, walk around the car and assess the nature of the panels that you are to protect with halo. So typically we say apply halo to an area around half the size of a bonnet. Obviously we'd recommend starting with smaller areas first. As you become used to the product, find out how it behaves, then you can expand depending on how comfortable you are. You can apply, as I say, up to half a large bonnet, and then you can move into doing a whole wing at a time, and so on and so forth. Halo is formulated to have a really fast flash off or evaporation time, and that is around 60 seconds. We did extensive testing with that product, and 60 seconds is enough to bond and penetrate into those pores we discussed earlier, and to bond chemically to the paint. So after the 60-second mark, halo is ready to remove with our MF10R microfiber buff cloths. You'd follow around the car, so you'd start probably with the front, the bonnet of the vehicle, and you'd work all the way around. You'd brake, especially with the Regera we have with us today, you'd brake intricate areas such as dive planes, rear wings, a lot of the aero elements into smaller, more manageable sections, just to ensure you can remove all of the residue. So going back to the application process, start off, first of all you'd saturate the AP2 that's provided with you in the box, just to ensure there's no dry sections on the applicator pad that can cause marring and infliction into high gloss chrome wraps, that kind of thing, and just it'll help in terms of the user experience and behaviour of the product. So start off in the centre of the section you are working or intend to work on, spread the product around in circular motions and draw almost a box section of the area you wish to coat. Finish in straight lines up and down and side to side.
And that's to make sure you get an even coverage.
That is correct, yes. So allow the 60-second buff time that we recommend for maximum adhesion, and you'd take 2 MF1 microfiber cloths, and you'd wipe with the first cloth the majority of the residue. Just that first cloth really wicks away the spent product that isn't needed to coat the vehicle. Follow up with a second microfiber cloth slightly over the area that you've applied to ensure that you haven't knocked any coating to surrounding panels and forgotten to wipe it off. As I say, as you use the product more and more, you'll get more comfortable with it. I mean, Halo is one of our most user-friendly coatings available. You can spread that further and further depending on how confident you are. But again, it's best to work in small sections, nice and tidy, go around after every section, wipe it, inspect it with a light source as always recommended, and make a mental note of where you started with the vehicle. So start on the bumper, start on the bonnet, move to the front bumper, to the wings, all the way around in the clockwise motion, because Halo is a 2-layer system.
And that's important, isn't it? It's 2
Very
coats, not
much
one,
so.
it's 2.
Yes, again, we've done extensive testing, so 2 layers of the product is beneficial more so than single, but 3 layers of coating is too much. As I say, we go to town massively on investigations like this. So for maximum performance and durability, we'd recommend 2 layers, and that second layer needs to be applied after an hour's period. So the base layer needs a minimum of an hour to cure enough to accept the secondary layer. So typically by the time you've gone all the way around the vehicle for the first time, that second layer is ready to go on. So as I say, go around, apply it as we recommend, double check your work to make sure you haven't left any high spots, and especially around a car as intricate as this, make sure, for example, the Ruggiero badges, all of the residue has been removed from inside all the intricate areas. Now, as Halo is one of our products that is available to the public, we've made sure that it is exceptionally user-friendly. Now, unlike with painted substrates, if you leave behind liquid high spots that turn into obviously solid coating, they can be exceptionally difficult to remove, such as our professional only Crystal Serum Ultra. If you leave the residue and don't buff it away, if you haven't seen it, you will need to sand that off with 1200 grit sandpaper.
Wow.
The coating, the strength in coating film thickness is that much that you have to sand it off the surface. So with obviously film and vinyl, that is a no-go. You can't machine polish safely, at least, modern films. So we had to ensure that from a user-friendly perspective, that if any coatings are left in intricate areas and you haven't seen, that we've maximised the safety window to ensure that you can go around up to 24 hours later, because we've done the testing to prove this. You can go around up to 24 hours later and wipe off the liquid high spots you may have missed while applying the coating.
Wow, wow. So it's really, really user-friendly.
Yes, absolutely.
So important things to take away from that is make sure you apply it thoroughly, well, overlapping passes, 2 coats.
Correct.
It's crucial.
Yes.
And 2 microfibers, one to wick off the first with the first wipe, and the second one to
That's
take
correct. The first cloth will take up to 70-80% of the initial spent residue, and then the secondary cloth is really there to pick up anything that's left and to over wipe, as I mentioned, the area you've applied to make sure you haven't lapped over any of the coating onto other panels, as your line of vision is obviously in the area you're working. So as soon as you've gone round, ensure the vehicle is in a nice controlled environment, so leave the vehicle indoors for a minimum of 12 hours for the coating to cure fully. So full cure is achieved after 24 hours, but it's important the first 12 is in a controlled environment for those coating particles to cure and settle perfectly. Don't wash the vehicle up to 7 days afterwards during that period, but then on, she makes PPF and vinyl substances a dream to maintain.
So a couple of questions we often get asked. First one is, how do I maintain it? What do I use to look after the halo coating that's on there and the PPF?
So again, very similar to, as we mentioned earlier, we have a complete system of maintenance products. So we have shampoo, snow foam, citrus all-purpose cleaners, an iron and fallout remover, that kind of thing.
Which doesn't harm the coating. So
Correct.
It doesn't strip the coating.
Yes, yeah, we've ensured that Halo is completely compatible with all of our maintenance products, including our W7 tar and glue, and also our W9 water spot remover as well. And obviously vice versa, all of the coatings are suitable for use with the maintenance products as well.
So things like C2, you can use that product on top of Halo, no issues.
Correct.
Just to boost the protection and
Yes,
the
definitely.
hydrophobic element of the Halo.
Yeah. As I mentioned earlier, so, film is a more porous substrate than paint is. So every 6 to 9 months, especially with British roads, the surface of the film on top of Halo will become contaminated, as it will, with any paint coatings in the industry. So you can perform a decontamination wash with W4, W5, W6, as we mentioned for the preparation to really cleanse the pores of the film and to reset the surface of Halo for extended durability. And as you mentioned as well, C2 was obviously originally a paint sealant, but works exceptionally well with vinyl as a topping product as well.
So those that haven't necessarily got the Halo on their car, they still can use
Absolutely.
C2 instead of that.
That is correct, and in addition, Easy Coat as well was tested extensively to ensure PPF and vinyl compatibility as well. And all of the products are safe for matte and satin finishes as well, which is especially important.
And then in terms of, we get questions asked about, do I need to put anything over the top of my Halo? Do I need to put XO on top of it? Do I need any other coating on top of my Halo? You don't, do you?
Not at all. I see Halo is a standalone solution. It can be maintained with the use of C2, although it isn't essential. I say Halo is the solution for PPF and vinyl substrates.